That's it. And that's definitely a better stamp on luncheon meat. Yeah, and he just hooked. Fiddly part of the mouth. Yeah, it's a better roach, isn't it? Oh no, it's a rudd, isn't it? Upturned lip. Hi, I'm at Field's End Water today, which is my local pit. I've been fishing it for around 15 years, so it's probably the place I've fished the most since I got back into fishing. About a 10-minute drive, so it's nice and handy. Very quiet today, only one car in the visitors car park, and I can't actually see anyone around the lake, so yeah, very quiet, which is good. Beautiful day, not so good for fishing perhaps. We're right smack under a high pressure area now. It's going to be bright sunshine all day, which isn't the best, but there we go. But on the plus side, the wind is forecast to be negligible. So I'm looking forward to a day's float fishing on the waggler. There's nothing better for me than sitting watching a float. Not everybody's cup of tea, but for me it's what fishing's all about. So right, I'm all tackled up, all the cameras are in place, and I've put a bit of ground bait in, not a lot, about 4 ping pong ball sizes of ground bait laced with hemp and maggots. I've got maggots today. I've got some sweet corn, but I haven't actually broken out the sweet corn at the moment. And I've also got some diced luncheon meat that I prepared, which has worked well here in the past. But it's early in the season, or early in the sort of spring for this lake, so not too sure how it's going to pan out, but we won't know till we try, will we? But it promises to be a very pleasant day, even if the fish don't play ball. So let's get going, shall we? Okay, if you've watched previous videos here, certainly recent ones, I've fished this spot a couple of times. It wasn't my favourite spot. To be honest, my favourite spot's on the far side of the lake. But I haven't done too bad here, and it's very convenient. It's a very short walk from the car, which is handy. I'll try and cut down my walking a bit these days if I can, especially on a lake, because I'm carrying a little bit more gear than I normally carry when I walk along a stream. So I've ground baited out just on the edge of those reeds there, which is where I fished last time, and I've caught carp there. I'm not necessarily expecting carp today. In fact, I'm not really tackled for carp, but I've caught some nice rudd. There are some good crucians in here. There are barbel in here, although I haven't caught a barbel for a couple of years here now, but I'm sure they're still around. It used to be a very good water for tench, but I haven't caught a tench for years, and I'm not sure they're still around, to be honest, although the website suggests there are tench in here, and they may well be. But in the sort of early days when I fished here, my first fish was usually a tench. They were that sort of prolific. But as I say, haven't caught one for years. I've never caught a bream in this lake, so I don't think there are any in here. And I've never caught a chub, so I don't think there are any chub in here either, but I may be wrong. So tackle, I've got my Gray's Prodigy float rod, which I had on my last outing to the clay pit, which is a 6-section travel rod. Drennan waggler with one largest shot, about a couple of inches from the hook, 14 hook. And I'll probably, I think, start on maggots. Interestingly, I bought maggots today because I've never historically used maggots here. In the early days when I fished here, my bait was bread. I'd come here with just bread, literally bread flake, and it worked a treat. I only say often I'd get here in the morning and I'd put a bit of flake on, just on a free line, and I'd cast out the flake on the free line and sort of watch the line on the surface of the water. Obviously mornings like this were ideal when it was nice and still, and often within minutes the line would snake out and whack, often a tench, but sometimes a carp. But I'm now on maggots, which is, as I say, I'm not sure I've ever used maggots here before. I may have done, I can't remember. It's not a bait I often use here, but as it was sort of early in the year, and I didn't think they'd be perhaps interested in too big a baits, I bought some maggots. Watch the trees here, it's very easy to now I plumb this up, it should be just on the bottom, that shot, but we'll see. Oh, straight away. Well, maggots work. Oh dear, there's some good rod and roach in here, by the way. Yeah, well, that worked very well, didn't it? It's a bit too heavy to lift, I think. I've got a 6-pound line on, but I don't want to tear its mouth. Well, very quick start, folks. Well, the hooks come out, which makes life easy. Like all commercials, of course, barbless hooks only here. But I only ever use barbless hooks anywhere, to be honest, so that's not a problem. See if I can get you out without having to get out my seat. Come on, stop mucking about. There we go. Oh, sorry about the plop. Well, that certainly was a quick start, folks. Let's go a little bit further. That's it. Yeah, maggots are going to produce lots of small fish, aren't they? But we mustn't complain. It's good sport. Oh, I think I'll swing this one in. Yeah, got a fair old shoal down there by the look of it. There you go. I may get luncheon meat and just try a slightly bigger bait, because I'm going to keep getting these smaller ones otherwise. They're following it down, aren't they? They're taking it on the way down. Not even getting it to the bottom. Right, I can get the luncheon meat and see if that produces a better stamp of fish. Because these are all very similar size, aren't they? But they're nice fish, a lovely rudd. There's really a good head of rudd in here. Well, I just took this little one, and it looks all the world to me like it's a dace. Right, whoa. Let's get your hook out. That is a dace. I was getting some quick bites that I couldn't hook. And that's almost certainly a dace, I think. Right, I diced up this luncheon meat at home. Thought it was easier than mucking about on the bank. And I usually use a bigger hook with luncheon meat, but it's very, very soft, so it should pull through. Let's just see if that produces something a little bit more interesting. If not, we can carry on catching plenty of rudd or maggots by the look of it. So my little baiting needle just went flying. Sorry about that. The ducks must be finding residue from the ground bait on the surface. They're showing great interest in me. No. Oh, he went after the bloody luncheon meat. Oh, that was a good start, wasn't it? Right, let's start again. I should have guessed that would happen. Yeah, there's definitely something interesting in it. Ah, that's it. And that's definitely a better stamp on luncheon meat. Yeah. Yeah. Only just hooked. Fiddly part of the mouth. Yeah, it's a better roach, isn't it? Oh no, it's a rudd, isn't it? Upturned lip. It's still a rudd. Slightly better fish. Whoa. Stop recording. Something interested in that. It's bobbling around a bit. Yeah, but that was on luncheon meat, and it's by no means a big fish. Ah, that's interesting. Little perchy. Oh yeah, trouble with perches, they take it right down, don't they? Oh dear, Mr. Perch, you've really excelled yourself here. There you go, nice little perch. It's interesting how they tuck their dorsal down. They don't like posing, do they? Wow. So, I have caught perch on luncheon meat here before, so that's not the first. Nothing big, but interesting. Just got the GoPro on in time there. It's on luncheon meat again. They're not really a lot bigger than the ones on maggots, although it seems to be excluding the really small ones, which I was getting a few of. Yeah, that's quite a nice rod actually. Yeah. Stick on the luncheon meat. Sort of offers the potential to have something a bit better. As I say, I diced this up, but I should have diced it up a bit smaller. I just took something on luncheon meat and it feels a lot better. I think it's only a roach or rudd, but it feels a much better fish. Yeah. It's obviously worth waiting with the luncheon meat. Let's sort that out. Yeah, this is a much nicer fish. So there are some decent ones down there. Yeah, look at that. That is smart, isn't it? Oh, we won't throw you back in, we'll put you back in the net, I think. Let's just get all the muck off my hands. I don't know if you can see that carp, it's about 10 yards out in front of me to the right, just under the surface. So they are moving around. Not particularly big, but it's going into that reed bed there. And interesting that they are around. It's vanished now. I've got a couple of, literally just a couple of slices of bread. I put them in a zip bag. I may try a bit of bread. Used to be my favourite bait over here, bread. Why that float's suddenly sinking, I'm sure. Right, let's go and get the bread out and try a bit of bread, shall we? Right, a bit of bread flake, let's see whether that produces anything. Hope it doesn't turn out to be the bait because I've only got a couple of slices with me. Yeah, I nicked a couple of slices from the family loaf. Gee whiz. Big sploosh on the surface out there. Right, I'm still on a flake. I've changed the shot. A lighter shot near the hook. Oh, that's... It may sort of... some of these more tentative bites, they may develop a bit more. Perhaps that shot was a bit too heavy for them. Great for tension carp, but probably not the best for rudd. Something interesting in the bread. There's more hen down here. It's getting very friendly. Getting very close. Oh no, watch the phone, not the moorhen. There's something having a go at the bread. I went back on luncheon meat. Not actually spectacularly larger fish on luncheon meat, but nice fish. Put it back in. Well, that was on bread flake. I've given up on maggots because I was getting quite small fish and they were taking it right down, which was actually I shouldn't have lifted that out. That's quite a good fish, this, isn't it? Yeah, that's a nice fish. Yeah, as I say, I had a couple of maggots that had taken it right down. A hell of a job getting the hook out, so I thought, no, let's stop that. So I'm on bread flake at the moment. I literally had just turned off the GoPro and then the float went under, so I started it again. This was on luncheon meat and I haven't had a bite for ages, but it's a perchy. It was a bit better than the last one we got, the last perch we got. Big, spiky thing. Spiky thing. I'm trying to get the hook out and you're spiking me with your gills. Whoa! There we go. And things. Oh, and then he dropped him on the platform then. I just had a little stroll down the bank. It's lovely and warm out there in the sun. Well, lovely and warm, a lot warmer than it is sitting here in the shade. Not a very good choice of place to sit at this time of day. But anyway, I'm not moving. But there's a guy carp fishing down there. He had just literally landed quite a nice looking carp, actually. A good double, a really good double. Yeah, he's got sort of 2 carp rods, you know, the classic setup, and he had actually broken his net at the spreader, getting it in, but fortunately he had another net with him. But as I was talking to him, the other alarm went and the rod sort of went round, so he was into another one. But it actually came off. He sort of got it in near the bank and didn't see it, but it just slipped the hook. It's quite amazing, really. And he said he had 2 others he had lost like that. So the carp are obviously feeding, but he's fishing out right out in the middle there by the island. So they may be feeding out there, but they're not feeding here at the moment. Boilies, you know, classic sort of setup. while I was talking to him, I could see one on the surface, quite a nice fish out on the surface. So they're moving around, just not in my margin at the moment. Something's having a go at my luncheon meat there. Come on, take it properly. Come on, stop messing about. Alright, we've got it, whatever it is. Another perch. Seems to be catching perch on luncheon meat. I bet that swallowed it down again. I don't know. If I use maggots, I get a little rudder to swallow it down. If I use luncheon meat, I'm getting perch. Right, let's cut that out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was hoping today, I was expecting to get rudd and roach, especially with maggots, but I was hoping that something else may come along. Crucians in here, and as I mentioned earlier, barbel and obviously carp, and often you can pick up something just in the margin when you're fishing sort of for roach and rudd, but doesn't look like it's going to happen today. Yeah, it was a bad choice of spot really. I should have gone on the other side, and then I could have been a bit warmer, and perhaps the water's a bit warmer over there. I don't know, probably not. More sort of exposed to the sunshine on that bank. Yeah. Oh, there's a carp literally just out there, about 2 feet past my rod. It just swirled. I'll leave that luncheon meat there, you never know. If it goes down and has a look around, it may find it. Well, it's coming up to 2:30. I was going to pack up about 3. That carp's still sort of moseying around out there. Literally just a few feet from my float, but on the surface. Actually, I don't know if he's feeding on the surface or not. Actually, there's a couple of them out there on the surface. Intriguing. It's worth putting a bit of bread out there, but on this tackle I'm not sure I ought to. There's a couple of them just cruising on the surface out there. The guy carp fishing down there said he had tried to tempt them on the surface, but to no effect. They're literally just in front of me here. Very sort of taunting me. I can probably see. Oh, got a bite then. I'm so busy watching the blooming carp. Float really disappeared that time. Don't know what it is. Oh, it's only a roach. Rudd actually. Oh, that's a nice one, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, don't you do that. There we go. Looks like I've got some mouth damage there. I just tried some maggots, but straight away it was just small rudd. Put a bit of bread flake out. I think I'll probably be packing up soon. Where's the time? 20 to 3. I think I'm cast over some reeds there. Yeah, that's no good. That's better. I'm feeling we're not going to get anything more interesting today. Something's interesting in my bread flake, I think. Yeah, but again, it's only a small fish. Is that a dace again? Another dace, isn't there? I didn't know there was. That is quite a nice dace, actually. I'm not sure though whether that is a dace or is it a hybrid. I don't know. It looks too slim for a roach. I don't know. Well, as the RAF jet disappears into the distance and the noise subdues and my float is still sort of bobbing around a bit, but whatever's trying to eat that bit of bread flake's not really getting on very well. I think I'll call it a day. I'm getting a bit chilly actually. It was a bad choice really. I sat in this corner basically. Oops, there go float blobs. I sat in this corner basically because I thought the wind was going to be coming from behind me. Well, that transpired to be not quite the case. Oh, look at that! Could you believe it? Went under a nothing there. But I think these are small fish. I don't think there's much else going on down there. So I think this is it, folks. It's been a very peaceful day, other than the jets, obviously, but I've only had a couple of those. I think there's only one other guy on the lake. Been very quiet. And very quiet fishing as well. But that's the way it goes sometimes. yeah, so well, that's it for today. To be honest, a little bit disappointed. I was hoping a bonus fish may come along, you know, a crucian or a carp even, but as it was, caught quite a few odd, and some of them weren't too bad really. A few small perch as well on luncheon meat, which is somewhat unusual, but it happens here. But it's been a nice, peaceful day. I think I'm the only one on the lake other than the carp guy down there who's caught a few carp using classic carping approach, you know, boilies, ledgering, that sort of thing. As I say, it's been a nice, peaceful day. Thing is, I got a bit chilly towards the end. That's why I packed up. I really chose the wrong spot. I think I should have gone the other side of the lake, sit in the sun, because although it's reasonably mild now for the time of year, in the shade here it got a bit chilly, so perhaps that was a mistake, but there we go. Can't always get it right. Anyway, I'm going home now, and until the next time, thanks for watching as always. Thanks to the subscribers as always, and until the next time, it's bye for now and cheers.